Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How's everyone? Hey, Jim. Hey, Jaeger. Hey, Steve and Mad Dog and Cloudyak. Hey, Moozin. How are folks? Martin, welcome. What else do we have? Robin and another CG and Garrett. How are we doing? Are you ready to rebuild a Voron? Hey, Rod. How are you? Oh, good. My drink. Will need my drink. Oh, let's give people a few minutes to come on in. Remember watching it being built and then the damage during shipping to Murph. Yep. I put links in the description to the original build series and then when we opened it up after getting it back. So. Hey, Lord Getface. Hey, Kiwi Dave and Ross. On gets electric vehicle motors. No. What did people think of the thumbnail? I know I used AI, but I liked it. Hey Neil, hey Bryce. Hey Nemi. Hey Nogorot. What the heck is a Tribent? Have you not heard the story of Tribent, Nogorot? Have you not heard the story of Tribent? It should be legend at this point. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Laura. Hey, Damascus. So, Tribent. Tribent is what came out of us building a beta Trident kit, LDO Trident kit, and the intent was to take it to Murph 2022. So I built it, we boxed it up, and shipped it out via UPS to Indiana. It never arrived. Well, a piece of it arrived. The shipping label that was on a little acrylic plate that was on the shipping case, they delivered the acrylic plate that said 150 pounds on it, and they delivered that as delivered and marked it delivered. It disappeared. Never showed up. Neil, thanks for being a member. Hey, Skyrim. Hey, Matt Owl. Hey, RJR. Hey, LTX Designs. The very coveted UPS mod. It got tumbled. So we're lucky enough to have some contacts in UPS and we're able to locate the missing, mislabeled shipping facility that it was at and got it back. So Jason got it back. One of my coworkers was picking something up in a trailer in Southern California anyway, so they picked it up for me and brought it up here. And when we opened it up, it had taken a tumble. So that's where I got the nickname Tribent. Now, the extrusions themselves, as far as the extrusion is straight, where the blind joints go in, are bent. I have put the frame together. I put the frame together quite a while ago, just to make sure that this was going to be feasible, that it was worth doing. So it'll be fine. We may have a little bit of trouble with some panels because I rotated the extrusions, the bent part to the outsides. But the intent is to use a lot of the parts. The panels that are all scratched up, we're going to use those. We're going to use the frame. We are not going to use the Z steppers, but we will be using a bunch of parts that I have around here. I've purchased a few parts. I'll use extras, whatever we end up. It'll kind of be a figure it out as we go along in this series. So first Trident up and running. Awesome, LTX. Hey, Thunderkeys. Do you fly too? Welcome. Long time since I caught a live stream. Welcome back. So yeah, so the frame is together. Today we're going to go through and build some of the gantry. I don't know how far we're going to get. I am missing Z steppers, lead screw Z steppers, because I got some and I accidentally got the ones for the 250Z. So I have ordered the 300Z ones, and they are on the way. They'll be here before next week. They shipped today. Because I found the ones that I got that I knew I had, and I opened them up yesterday, and I realized, oh no. So, hey Tech Geek, what are you planning to do with the Tribent when done? That's to be determined. I might want to just keep it. I don't know. I don't have enough printers. Ball screw Z. That would take a lot. It would not be Trident R2. So the intent here is to go over the assembly of Trident R2. This is the best opportunity for me to do it rather than building a new kit. I don't have any other Trident that's really a good candidate to upgrade to Trident R2, at least in a stream setting. So this is the best opportunity to do that. Hey, Calhim. You're not telling me that the stream was live. Oh boy, what? Hey, Kittrell. Before we get into that, we've got a few things to go over. I've gotten a couple of things this last week that are kind of neat, that I want to show off. A big one that I want to show off, right here. It's going to come in handy in this build. What else do I want to show off? Yeah, I think this will be the big one that I'll show off. Here we go. Check that out. Check that out. Lead screws and couplers on Z, isn't that how everyone else does it? Check that out. Isn't that fantastic? This is courtesy of our friend here, LTX Designs. Look at that thing. It is so glossy. I've got to figure out what to do about my lights. Look at that. The pour in the silver is just so cool. And the blue comes around and has these streaks, these like really cool streaks. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It is a very glossy epoxy finish. It should be easy to refinish and re-epoxy when it gets scratched to a certain point. So yeah, huge thanks to LTX Designs. Armor 3D approached me at Open Sauce and said, hey, LTX wants to do one of these for you. Can I get your logo? Forward it on, and just 6 weeks or so later, here we are. Look at that. Hey, Esmel. I'm very happy and very appreciative. I very much thank LTX Designs for this. I guess I've kind of prompted this this big push for Lazy Susans in the builds and how useful they are. So, hey John, hey Bilgly, hey Dimitri. So yeah, that we are going to be using. However, today we are going to be doing this because I don't want to scratch it up with the frame. So we're going to cover it up until we get the feet on the printer. Hey, Huge Dino. Hey, Gregord. So yeah, and plus it'll help with the glare. So we're gonna build stuff on here. Once we get the feet on it, we'll be able to take this off and get back to it. So other thing I got this week that I wasn't expecting at all is a little package from LDO that I thought was kind of neat. Hey, Jack in the shop. This is an unprompted little delivery with some really cool little UV printed coasters. The channel logo on there and a little bit of AI or whatever addition there to make it an actual cat instead of just a floating head. So yeah, this is a pretty neat package. I got a few of these and a little drink container with the logo on there. That was a very neat little surprise. Then I'm going to build these. These look fun. I've not built any of the 3D printed headphones. So we'll print those out. Maybe I'll do this in a Discord stream. I don't really have bandwidth to do that on a YouTube stream, so keep an eye out for for me being in voice chat and Discord. We'll probably do it there sometime. So I think I'm going to print these. I think I'm going to go print them in some of these PETGF colors I've been printing. I'm not sure if anybody has any ideas on colors and materials to print those in. So, but yeah, these are pretty darn neat. Big thanks to Jason and the LDO team for thinking of me. Said ASA or ABS on them. Yeah, any of those will be fine though. It doesn't have to be that. Maybe sound quality? Is that going to have an impact on sound quality? Maybe I'll divert back to doing an ABS or ASA if it has an impact then. I wouldn't be able to tell. I'm not an audiophile. My ears are not that tuned. I was actually thinking of doing the dark gray and the blue, Neil. That was my thought, was doing dark gray and blue. So, really good headphones. Nice. 3D printed speakers say the materials matter. Okay. Well, we'll look at it. If anybody has any suggestions on ABS, ASA colors, it'll be an opportunity to hit some of the colors that I don't normally use. I need to set up, I'm going to set up a, if you don't know, on my Discord, there is a channel in there for notifications. Get notified. This is where I don't ping everyone. I never ping everyone. I don't do here. I don't do everyone in my Discord. It's just not allowed. But what I do is an opt-in notification system. So in the get notified channel, there's a way to get a role to, and then I ping that role. So for the streams, I ping that. For the Charlie's Angels, the member streams, I ping a specific role for that. I need to set up a role for Discord Hangout. So I'll do that. I'll let people know when I do that so you can get part of that role. So when I do hang out in there and go live, you can be notified. Yeah, wood headphones, always wood for speakers. Hey John, welcome. Okay, let's get to this. I've got printed parts. So we are building a Trident R2. I don't know how. For the most part, let me start over. For the most part, we are going to be building this to spec. There might be a couple areas in the tool head, maybe. We might do a different, maybe not do stealth burner, might do something else. A couple areas we might deviate from that. For the most part, the big changes, the gantry stuff is going to be spec. So got our printed parts here. I don't know how to build a Trident R2, not at all. Let's see. We are reusing the Z, not all of the Z rails. Okay, the MGN 9s, I picked 3 of the MGN 9s from the original build that are still fine. They are smooth. They have no issues. I just re-greased them off camera. Those are going to be our Z rails. Hope I'm following the manual. We'll actually have the manual up and go through it. But it'll be kind of a guideline because I won't be doing everything exactly to that because I don't have all the right parts to do that. I did want to try out Fabrico's ULS rails. So those are going to be our Y rails. So we're going to try these. I've tried the Motion Perfect stuff from West 3D. So now it's time to give a try to the ULS stuff. So I just got these actually today. They just came from UPS today. So, and then it's to be determined on the X rail on what we're going to do. So I haven't decided that yet. So that we're going to use one of my pre-production power supplies, the LDO, what do they call these things? Whatever they call the model, the 300 watt power supply. We're going to use that. And we're going to use probably the original or whatever, probably an octopus as the controller. So a lot of this is going to be a parts bin, what I have in the in my bunch of parts. That is true, Tuxedo. You are right. I do like, I didn't really think about this when I decided to go with these, but they do match the printer. The rail color matches the printer. We are going to take these apart to clean them and grease them, so we'll get a little closer idea on the construction of these compared to other rails. We did that on the Motion Perfect ones at one point in the past. We'll do that again with these. I don't think we're going to need these yet. Get these over here. The deck panel is right here. This is what I was talking about, is we're going to embrace the destruction. So the deck panel took quite a beating, and we are going to use it. We're going to wipe it off with IPA and use it as is. Already has most of the wire management stuff underneath, so that works. I'm going to put in the Ouroboros on the Tribent. No, the Ouroboros is going on the gray Trident. Well, this is a gray Trident. Fair. This is a gray Trident. Shoot, what was that? That car racing game. The Taco Bell, the 90s Taco Bell Trident. Outrun is what I was trying to think of. The Outrun Trident. IPA I'm sorry, Windex. I'll use Windex to clean it off. Although I don't think I've ever had that matte acrylic have a problem with IPA. I've never had that matte acrylic, the black stuff, have a problem. I've had problems with the clear stuff, but not the black stuff. I wouldn't recommend it because it's probably not a good idea, but could you put a fun covering over it? Maybe a brown paper look. Haven't been around. Can I get a backstory on what happened to this printer? Rewatch the stream. About 5 minutes in, I gave the full backstory, Craigord. If I give the backstory every time somebody comes in and hasn't heard it, we'll be spending half the stream giving the backstory. The very short, UPS lost it. It took a tumble. We got it back. I will not do inverted electronics on it. No. I think it's a fine mod for those that want to do it. I'm not a fan. IPA causes acrylic to craze. Gets in and causes it to little micro fractures. Are you able to measure the ball size on the ULS carriage? Found the LDO one smaller than my high wind. When we take it apart, remind me and I'll try to do that, Neil. Hey, Stuart. Hey, Gurgeman. Found it to be quite unnecessary, and I reverted to standard electronics when I was updating the R2. Hey, Maker Viking. There's a Setter 4 pick and string chat. That's the headphones. Hey, Phil. Welcome. Are you a fan of the inverted electronics? Because I would tend to leave it off, and things falling into an active printer is not a good idea. It makes the high voltage electronics exposed. I'm just not a fan. Okay. Remind me, I'm hoping, in about an hour and a half, we should be able to watch the Vertigo do a scrape. This is ABS. This is Polymaker Orange ABS. So this print should be done in about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll pull this up if that gets to that point, and do a scrape. To move the bed all the way up to be able to access the electronics. Yeah. Here, where were we going? Where did you go? Here, GitHub, Voron, Trident, manual, and let's open up the assembly manual. At least have some guidance here. So, hey, Clownhammer. I've been watching that build, such a cool printer. It is finicky on what filament will release from what surfaces. But given that, I'm liking it. I've had very little trouble getting things going. It's producing some fantastic ABS prints right now. I'll show you when we pull those off. They look really good. And that's the default generic ABS profile from their Orca slicer. So, hey TJ. Okay, so this is the updated assembly manual, updated in June when we released the thing. Let me just confirm that this finished. Yeah, it finished my git pull that I did before the stream. And all the things. Now we're going to start with an already assembled frame. And there's been a lot of revisions here, trying to clarify this diagram here. Go back and watch the build series on that. I thought Vertigo was more open air than that. So real quick sidetrack. I was playing around with getting it ready to do ABS. I set the tool head, just let it sit there off. I heated the bed to 110, and once it got to 110, it took about 12 minutes before the hot end was at 45C, and it was still climbing. I need to put a chamber thermistor in there to see what it actually gets to, but at the very least, for this simple ABS stuff I'm doing right now, I don't see any problems with it at all. We'll see how hot it actually gets when I put a chamber thermistor in though. It has to cool for a bit to release from the plate. Yes, I have it set to release at 35C once it's cooled down to that. Okay, so all the frame stuff, the frame's together. We're going to check a couple of things on the frame to make sure that everything is in the right spot and aligned, but printing both the hot end and bed, hang around 80C for a few minutes. Does that mean my chamber temps are roughly that high? No, you'd have to have a chamber thermistor to see what that's doing, Garrett. If you're sensible and don't print ABS to the edges, you should be fine. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna skip a bunch of the frame stuff. Hey, Killer Prince. So just all the assembly of the frame. Now, here's what we are going to check. I want to make sure that the Y rails are evenly spaced everywhere. So let me get all this and get the calipers out and do some measuring, do some tweaking if we need to. This does have a lot of the peanuts already in it, still in there. But a big thing is I want to measure the location of making sure the top rail is flush up here to the verticals all the way around. And then I'm gonna just take some measurements here and making sure as much as we can that we're nice and square. Oops, let's change this to that. Doesn't seem, I don't know why that's 151.4. That does not seem 151.2. So that's further off than I want it to be. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and grab our printed jigs, which are almost there. They are quite off. Interesting. should be 110 in the middle, and it's 111. So I don't think, I must not have paid attention to that. Where's the other? So there is this printed jig that is in the files, and that's what we're going to use here. And we're going to make sure that I'm putting this on both in the same way. So we're going to loosen these and get this all lined up. Then we're going to measure it and see where we're at. Put these on either end just to make sure, use the frame as making sure that they are straight. Pull this in this way without pushing too hard. Make sure that we're flush this way. Maybe I'll grab a, there we go. Grab a 1, 2, 3 blocked. Put this down here. I was humbled yesterday. My this is just, I couldn't even. Yeah. There we go. Andrew. Just really trying to tweak this and make sure everything feels flush. This sits in here. That feels good. And we'll do a quick, pop these off and do a quick measurement to make sure that we are the same, because the critical part is that this is the same distance on both sides. 149.46, 149.45. That is good. This is a new tool. Yeah, this is based off of one that Takuya made and posted on printables. So we tweaked it and used it for the release as an assembly guide. This was printed in ABS. If I had printed this with some shrinkage compensation, I probably could have got this to the full 150 millimeters, but that 0.5 millimeter isn't going to hurt anything. It is a long tool, so the shrinkage is real on that. Thanks for being here, Andrew. Sorry you had a bad work day. Stealth Changer series, mine is coming along nicely. Nice. The other one I just measured, another CG, I was within 0.01 millimeters. They were both printed on the same plate in the same orientation. They're going to be fine. $49.54. 149.36, but hold on a second. It's a little. Tweak this a little bit. Click that. Yeah, I've noticed that 0.22 shrinkage. They're putting it in Z as well, which is really weird. So I saw that. I was looking at that today in a Prusa profile. Except the profile I'm using are custom when I print these on the... Okay, so that one's off. That one needs to be tweaked. That one's really close. Put these on here. See a Lorgit face? Oh yeah, I felt that one relax. Okay. Put it in. There we go. Let's see how these are now. $149.35. 149.48. Shift this one a little bit more. I'm just taking some extra time here because it's important. 49.4. 49.5. A little bit more. Oops. How did that go less? I thought I moved it away. Okay, that's the other way. Just keep playing with this until we get it. I4. 0.54. There we go. 0.54, 0.54. Okay. And then the other thing to check as far as the is this, making sure this is centered here. Just gonna grab my ruler and do a first quick check to see how close it is. 1. Okay, it's off as well. This around and make it. Can you just lock the Midwest, put it between the two extrusions and put them in place, then unlock, move the Midwest to the next place? That takes a lot of back and forth. This was fine. It was just a little fiddly. Should go right to there we go. Right there. There we go. There. There. Ah. Phil was a collaborator, so Phil ends up being a mod. Yes. Watch it, John. May as well rotate it while you've got that loosened to move the T-nut bar. To move it. Oh, good call. Good call. Trident R2 gets this thing moved to the side. Now we'll have to loosen those and make sure that's all square when we get to there. Should do it right now. And there we go. How you doing, John? Okay. Next. Get into building the stuff. Hey, Ahmed. Check that bottom bar now. I hope you didn't twist it doing that. Happened for me. Oh, it'll be fine. We will check it before I get to there. That's not the last of the checks we do on that. We will check it when we get to where we're putting the these BA steppers in and stuff. I don't know where Oscar is. He either hasn't heard me talking or is asleep somewhere. No time to sit with a Lapdog this morning. Oh. Okay. So we have the AB drives and the idlers. They go in these spots. Why is this here? You likely skipped over the device to flip through the entire manual. We added graphics like these to assist you with the orientation. Electromagnetic rails? No. Why would I say that, John? Okay. Front idlers. Let's get the parts. My favorite part of the build. Or one of them. Oh, that's a good call. Let me try that. Okay, so I've already put all these heat sets in. I actually did heat sets pre-stream for once. Here, let's see. Let's see if that calls him. About Steam Drive. Okay, let's start here. Oh, M5 by 16. Entire R2 for your IDEX, trying to work out how you measured everything. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Sometimes I don't know, though. I can probably explain a lot of it. Okay, we need an M516, some M5 by 16s. These go in here, like that, with the bearing around them. So let's get some bearings. Got your cats to look around. Funny. Bearings and some shims. Okay, I'm going to deviate slightly from the build because I want to test something. I don't think this is necessarily required, but in the interest of having a printer that is set up that way, I'm going to use 0.5 millimeter shims instead of 1 millimeter shims. And this is so I can put a space between the bearings. Now I'm only going to do this for this build. My other builds don't have this, and I don't see a problem. But for two reasons. One, I'm out of 1 millimeter shims, and I had a lot of 0.5 millimeter shims. And two, I want to actually try what's suggested without just immediately dismissing it. So we're going to use 0.5 millimeter shims here and build our stacks that way. But otherwise, you would be doing this by same as any other Voron is on a bearing stack. You do a 1 millimeter shim to either side. Wherever it is, you do a 1 millimeter shim to either side. In this case, I'm going to do a 0.5 millimeter shim and then one side of the bearing, and then 2 0.5 millimeter shims for 1 millimeter in the middle, and then the other side, and then another 0.5 millimeter shim. Hey, Bob. And then this stack goes in here. And with the 0.5 millimeter shims, I think it's a little more finicky to get in here. Let me get these and some tweezers. Just to push things into place. There we go. So that's going to go like that. I know this is how they do bearing stacks. I think it's more important to have your belt path lined up. But we're trying it. Might as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it on another one. that. And then M3 by 25s. MacBoy, thanks for the gift of memberships. 3 by 25s, I think, are these. And it says, thank you for using sensible dimensions in this design. Took me a while to get the A and B mount belt grooves measured correctly. Trying to avoid the fractional dimensions for sure. Okay, so then these go here, this, and then this little tab here is to take up the space there on the opposite side of the head of the bolt. So those kind of lock together that way. And then by 25s, and what's being reused from the Tribent here? The frame, the panels, the controller, but it might not be the exact octopus. I've got several of them. But we're going to use an octopus, I think, unless something different or other suggestion comes along. Some of the rails are being used. The name. These are both the same. Both sides are mirrors of each other, or are the same, rotated. So they're not mirrors, it's the same. It is going R2, yep. I didn't hear back then. Why is it called Tribent? What is bent on it? Or did you get bent building it? So the printer took a tumble, many tumbles in UPS's hands. The flight case that it's in has damage to every corner, like scraping marks on every corner. So it took a tumble. The bent part, it's mostly the slots bent. The extrusions didn't bend. Where the blind joints were bent. So I just rotated all the extrusions around to where it's bolting against flat surfaces. Oops, did it again. R2 and 1.5 millimeter belts. No. So. No life shafts. Nope. Spec R2 gantry. Spec R2 gantry. Okay. So here is the guidler, or the front idlers. This carriage, the bearing carrier, rides on some PTFE that we're going to put in here. As soon as I find some 3mm ID PTFE. There it is. I've got more and more 2.5mm stuff. There's some. RepRap firmware. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What was the... I don't know. That's not necessarily a bad idea there. Although the controller would have to change. A regular octopus won't take it. Let me think about that one, Nurglerot. I've been promising more RepRap firmware content. It could be. Okay. I'm looking for the cutting jig. I thought I had punted the cutting jig. Oh, there it is. Cutting jig. Yeah, you would have to revise all of the bearing spots to do 1.5 millimeter pulleys. Try to get a Mellow sponsorship. They have lots of cool new toys. I can reach out. Mellow is on my contact list. I've dealt with Mellow quite a bit. They're cool people over there. They've provided quite a bit of things over the years for the channel. Yeah, they're cool people. I like them. I've met the owner in person at TCT Asia. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut some PTFE tubes that are going to act as guides for this bearing carrier. So there's a little printed jig for that. I am going to make a fresh cut in the end here just because I don't know where this one has been. So it'll cut there. These are not critical at all to be super straight cuts. I mean, get them as close as you can, but it's not as critical as like in the hot end. This pushes through, you can see it goes all the way to the end. And then the opening here is so you can hold it to make sure it doesn't slide out when you cut it. And then you can push it out with your finger too. So there's one. And we're gonna do 4 of these. I like this little jig. I came up with this in an evening. The PTFE sparks when you cut it. It's the best. How you doing, Ref? Okay, so 4 of those, and then 40 millimeter. 2 40s. Are these 40s or 45? Those are 40s. We'll need 4 of these guys. I'm using all just black oxide hardware. That's what it was built with originally. And that's what I have most of. Does anybody else have low volume? I haven't changed anything. Oh, hold on. Stupid Windows. Let's make sure. Audio settings. System sounds. Is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. Let me check to make sure it's not me, Bill. Windows likes to change the volume. Audio. Microphone. And yes, it changed it. I always have this up here about 60 something. That would, it keeps changing it. I just changed it back. It might be a little louder now. Let me know, Bill. Is that better? Windows likes to manage the volume and I keep forgetting to check it. If you print a lot, then remove that specific PTFE and cut it. You get a lot of spark. They get charged up. Oh, It's changed, not a ton. Okay. Okay, then these guys go in here. Put your 40 millimeter screws in. Slide the PTFE over them. Down. And then this guy slides in there. And you want this hole in the center pointing out because that's your tensioning screw. These guys go on here. This threads in to the heat sets that were on here. Hey, Fegley. It took you and others here to get used to CAD. A hard time getting started with my own project. It's just exactly what you're doing. Finding a project and using that as your motivation to learn and figure things out. So there you go. Now, what I really like about that PTFE is it does give a nice smooth motion here, but also makes sure that it takes up any extra space so this can't tilt. And this is part of that whole idea where I don't know that this gap is necessary if everything is lined up. So that's one. Three will replace linear rails with PTFE strips like this. That would be interesting. Never say never. Keeps your belt nice and straight. That's the whole point. Just kind of push these there. That slides down in there. This guy goes on here, and you tighten these guys up. Could I drop in, replace? Yes, these should. There are some potential interferences with the with these spots and the Z rails, because the Z rails move down on R2, and that gives more room for these bolts. The reason that these go in at 90 degrees to each other is because of space. This whole thing is as short as I could possibly make it in order to get that extra Y travel. With it this short, there wasn't enough room for two bolts here with the T-nuts behind them. So I think there is an advantage to these being able to slide onto the frame and then line up by bolting into two directions. The big reason why it did this is because there wasn't room for two bolts. Central part to build a printer, the initial point. All the others mechanical parts depend. Using SolidWorks for everything. License is expensive. Okay, so that is the front idlers. We have a M3x16 that goes in here. That's two of these guys and two washers. So just to finish these off, oh, come on. Two washers, and goes in here. There we go. Washer there and a washer here. There we go. Okay, those are done. I haven't used anything but the Core 1 index since I built it. I've been printing non-stop maker chips on my Core 1 index. It's been printing for about a week straight. You know me, Neil. I know where washers are needed. I'm aware. Okay. Now we're probably on to the, oh, this, we can do this. It just, okay. So on the front idlers, there's this little weird screw here, these little M3x8. It's a random, seems like a random spot. This was the best solution I could come up with that gave, here, this goes on the printer, your Y rail is here. Because of the extra 3 millimeters of travel on either end, there's a 3 millimeter gap there when you put your rail in. The head on a socket head is 3 millimeters thick. What this just does is make sure that you don't accidentally install your Y rail too far this way up against this surface, giving too much over travel on the other side and damaging the rail. So these just go in there and they're just spacers. They're just spacers. So now you got to make sure. So if this is going to be the left or the right idler, or actually this will end up being the left now. So this goes here. So this goes on this side of the printer. It's on the lower part. This comes over here. You got to put it on the lower part as well. And these just thread into plastic. You don't have to tighten them much. You just tighten them until they're bottomed out. And that's it. And this just gives that locating, just to make sure you don't accidentally install the rail too far over, which can cause problems. Hey, Jeff. And this is just talking about where they go. Okay, BA drives. BA drives, they're there. Put these things away. I put most of the heat sets in these. I intentionally left some off. It's fine as long as there's enough material to screw in. Yep. Put screws on top and bottom. Yeah, you could put the screws in all the holes and it'd be fine. It's not going to get in the way of anything else. You're right. You're right. Spur clip. And circle it. Okay. For new Trident R2 build with index, would you advise to build it with stealth burner first, or is it easy enough to jump right into index? If you already have all the stuff, I'd build it right into index. If you are waiting on your index stuff, might as well build it and see if everything works. M5 heat sets are hard to insert with an M3 tip. Yeah. This stuff away. We're done with that. Don't need that yet. Okay. Our printed parts for the BA drives. I forgot to de-stress these, so I'll do that here in a second. But why the little extrusion? Okay, top plates rather than a full 20 millimeter wide section. Why the little extrusion rather than a full 20 millimeter wide section? What are you talking about? My R2 upgrade kit didn't come with the M5 tip. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would have been nice, huh? Okay, this is a bottom one. This goes over here. And this goes there. This goes there. This is the bottom one here. There's that. Next to the linear rail. On the top plate on the A and B, printed parts next to the linear rail. Why the little extrusion? Are you talking about these little spots, or I'm not sure. This is the little thing that allows the over travel on this side of the Y rail, by the way. That's a little nubbin that gives 3 millimeters of over travel. Okay, I have my VLMP set up with my M5 heat set. And the only heat sets I didn't put in are these, because I think they're important to get right. And I wanted to just do those on camera. Are the longer steppers becoming more available? Yeah, they're pretty available. Oh, is that what you're talking about? Is this what I just explained, Neil? Why isn't that full 20 millimeters as per the shape around it, rather than the smaller extrusion? That's what I was explaining, is this allows for the rail to over travel by 3 millimeters. And that was all in the name of maximizing build volume for tool changers. Here, we'll demonstrate. We got a rail here, right? And we've got that goes up against the rail. And this allows this to go, and it's in the wrong spot here. I'm not in the correct orientation. Maybe we can go like this. This allows this to go, where was it? Maybe it is this way. Yeah. Go that far over travel. That's what that nubbin is for. Imagine that's your Y rail, and that's the over travel. I just did a pause and filament swap for these. That's why it's yellow here too. You can safely over travel about 4 millimeters on these rails. We allow 3, and then the variation in rail lengths can take up the rest of that. Okay, so we are going to, so here is a case where it's really important to make sure that you are inserting the heat sets carefully. So we have 2. Why the color scheme? Because these are the UPS colors. UPS colors. Okay. So the heat sets, I have actually done this. I've accidentally put the heat sets in the wrong side, in the top side. Make sure you grab the bottom piece. It's the one without the extra 2 heat sets. But these are going to go in here. And this is a case where you're really going to want something to make sure those heat sets are flush in there. So I'm just going to grab my ruler here. And then use my VLMP. I still like my VLMP. I'm gonna grab this. We're gonna let that get hot. We're not gonna force it. If you force this all the way through, you're gonna have a bad day. We're gonna get really close. And we're gonna press it down the rest of the way with our flat piece of metal. To make sure that that is very flush and doesn't stick through on this side. Take your time. This is important. These are M5. These are the M5. Come on, Garrett, pay attention. We'll let that, don't push that in too fast. Let it get hot. That'll just help when you go to press it the rest of the way in with your, either the flat of your desk or the ruler like I do here. And I'll push that. Yep, see? Exactly. That's what I just said, Zach. Leave for a while. No problem. No problem, Garrett. You're good. I'm just giving you a hard time. You know it. Yeah. And make sure that these are absolutely flush on this side. And we'll do this to both. And these are the only heat sets that we're going to, at least for this first few streams, should be the only ones that we need to put in. I should have done the rest of them. These don't have a lot of force on them when they're threaded in. You're not torquing down on these. It just gives a metal thread to thread into. Okay. Nice and flush. And we're done with that. Put this thing away. Okay, the other thing I did on these is I've talked about the idea of indexing these parts together. This is your what did Brown do to you build. Exactly. We used to have printed indexing features. They're never perfect. They always allow some sort of play. So I was trying to think of some way to give like a dowel, but I didn't want to add dowels to the bomb. And then I got the idea that a M3 socket head can act as an indexing feature. They're not perfect. There's less variation in them than the play you can get in a poorly printed part. So these can be a little finicky in terms of finding screws that work well. You might have to, if it's really loose or super tight, you might have to try a different screw. But what is that? There we are. I have two currently, those were converted into other projects. Trident R2 is the only Voron with this type of over travel. Yeah, I don't think you can do it with a V2. I don't think there's enough because of where the belts and stuff. The floating gantry doesn't allow it. Oh, there you go. Steve builds for 20% off at pexpeppers.com. What's this one? That one is there. So, and then these are actually hexagonal pockets, which should allow for a little more. If you force them together, it should push the plastic out of the way. But those fit really well. And this doesn't. Those didn't take any real extra. There's a lot of taper to these pockets too. So if they're loose out here, they tighten up as you tighten it down. But yeah, this actually feels really good. There's no play there. There's no play. So that's that. And these just thread into plastic. They're not holding anything. You don't tighten them down. Pueblo Red is absolutely my favorite. I just had some Sunday. Usually before stream, I'll make little egg and... Oops, did I put that? Oh no, there we go. Yep, I'll make little egg and cheese and Pueblo Red tacos. Okay, so these are the little indexing screws. I already put the heat sets in, or locating screws. They just align the two halves. These are the M5 heat sets. This is talking about flush matters. And the other locating screw. Okay, M5x30s. 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Okay. Sponsored by UPS. Looks like the R2 will have to deliver after every print. Should be sponsored by UPS. They owe us. That one has some gunk in the head. That is the drawback to black oxide screws, especially ones that I've probably recycled. Okay, so one of the nice things about, well, nice things in one way about Trident R2 is both stacks are double stacks. Gunk in the head, just like me. Both stacks are double stacks. So on a Trident R1, one of these had 2 bearing sets and one of them had only 1. So with the belt path on R2, it does require 2 double stacks. So we'll do the same thing. So we're going to do basically where before you put a 1mm shim to either side of a stack. Now we're putting a 0.5 millimeter shim to either side of a bearing. So that's both on one side of a bearing, and then the next bearing's going to go on. So it needs 1 and the bearing and 1. And then the next bearing's going on. So it's the same concept. It's just either bearing pair or individual bearings. Oh, there is, yeah. Check the description. I put a little bit of the story there. So you can see we've got 1 millimeter in between every one. And that still lines up. One bearing, or 1 shim, 1 bearing, 1 shim. Shim. The other half of the bearing, and a shim. Shim. Bearing, oops, the other way. And a shim. Shim. Bearing, and a shim. 1 millimeter bearing be better than 2.5s. Yeah, but I'm part of the story, Bob, is I'm out of my 1 millimeters, and I have all these tons of halves, and it's an opportunity to try out this setup. Okay, so then this goes here, and we can get these. One of the nice things, we're not threading into plastic anymore, so you can just hand tighten those, and that'll hold together. Now, the recommendation, I still recommend that you will have a fine build using 1 millimeter shims as in the BOM. I am trying this as the idea of just to try it. See if I see any concerns, any issues with it. So, this is just a deviation from the spec that I'm using here to try it out. That's all. For science, exactly. So there's one, and then we'll do the same thing here. It's the 2 spots that these are. Now you're not gonna want, I kind of tightened those down. You don't want to tighten those down yet, because you're gonna need to loosen these on to get it onto the printer. What brown is that? So this is Overture Brown ASA. I did get an opportunity to compare it to Polymaker Brown, And I liked, this was a deeper brown than the Polymaker. So that's why I'm going with I stuck with the Overture. How is the auto ejecting printer going? It's almost done. We're gonna try to capture it and get a watch when it ejects the part. Almost put that on backwards. Easter chocolate bunny brown, yeah. Okay. Those, we can just hand thread those in and that'll be fine. Just like that. That is our new bearing locations. And this is what allows us to have this big giant channel here. See the back extrusions here. This is a channel for wires or any other activities you can think of. Okay, those go there. Let's see what steps we skipped ahead on. So this is our normal bearing stacked with 1mm shims. And then we get to put on our pulleys. So I am using OMC 2.5 amp steppers. These are equivalent to the Speedy Power LDOs. The 2504s. These, I just bought a 4-pack of these. I'm using them on another printer and I have extras, so I'm using them here. The only things I have otherwise with a long shaft are super powers, and I didn't want to use super powers. I didn't need any more super powers. Okay, pulleys. Let's see. Pulleys. I've got a few. There's one. There's two. Yep. So this is another tool. I have fun. I like designing these little tools. This other tool I'm really pleased with, because I intentionally sat down and I said, I really don't like this little thin, hard to hold in place tool that we had before, which I designed. And I said, I really don't like it. I don't want to copy other tools that are out there. There are some pretty good ones. And so I sat down in one evening and decided to figure out what can I do that's a little different, that makes this maybe a little easier for folks. And this is what I came up with. Is this little wedge shaped thing. And the way it works is we need an M3x30 in our next step anyway, because those hold our motors down. And this is a tip by one of the team, is to use an M3x30 here, since we're already going to need them in the next step. So I think that was from DW TAS. Might have been Weaseless. But we take this and we put this on here and just take a real quick M3x30. And it doesn't have to be tight, but that allows that to positively locate where it's going to be. No, it was either Weaseless or DW TAS that made this particular suggestion. I could be misremembering. It's been a while. If I am, apologies to Thunder Keys. But now you take your pulley, and we're going to start with the B one here apparently, and rotate that into place. And now it's, look, locked in there. Now, no extra hands. it's held there without having to hold a little thing in here and contort your hands around to make sure it's being held in place. This is what I really like about that. Is you just put that there, and then we can tighten these down. Now there is a little bit of play there. It's 0.1 millimeters. That's not going to make any difference on which way it goes. Now, need some Loctite. These are fully round shaft steppers. I'm not going to grind a flat. I think it'll be fine, but I am going to Loctite them for sure. It was weaseless. Yep. I have a pretty good memory. I was wrong at first, but I narrowed it down to 2. Yep, and there that is going to be exactly where it needs to be. I'm Loctiting it now because I'm not going to need to change it when I put it on the printer. Piff should come with the jigs, yes. Hey, Stephen Poole. And then we just put it in on the next one. To the other side for A. That one can set off to the side. Hey, the Reverend. Morning. Where are you? So this goes in here, rotate that into place. You got your little 0.1 millimeter or so of play there. I just touch that one down, just lock it in place, and then we'll put some Loctite on. This is the first pulley jig you use. It doesn't require 3 hands. Yeah, I am pretty pleased. I'm pretty pleased with it. And I'm so happy that other people have been have been pleased with it. Now, note, this is Trident R2 specific. This jig is R2 specific. I need to release and copy out the V2 version, but because these plates are 6 millimeters thick instead of 5. They're 5 on V2 and they're 5 on Trident R1. They increased to 6 millimeters thick for Trident R2. So that makes this jig 6 millimeters. Here's the 5 millimeter version. I happen to just have an earlier version of it, but at least I think that's a 5. Nope, this is a 6. Never mind, that's a shorter one. There is a 5 millimeter version somewhere. This was the pre 30 millimeter screw version is what this is. Pre 30 millimeter screw. So, yep. And then we can put that away and we'll keep that 30 millimeter screw because it's going to be used to hold these into the part. Okay. This one is the A side. A side is up. B side is down, I think. A side is up, B side is down. Yeah. Yep. So this guy goes over here. One of the things that kind of makes that really useful for that jig to be accurate is you don't have as good a view at some of this stuff in these drives as you did on the other one. So these we're not going to tighten either. They're going to need to be loose when we put it on the printer, put it on the frame. I don't think I mentioned earlier, as always, we are giving away a roller Polymaker filament. Link is in the pin post and in the description. Be sure to enter. There is our thing. Now these are much longer shaft than is required. The minimum, I think, was, what did we say? 30, 32, 34 millimeters. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Those go there. Now, when we put this on the printer, we will put a bearing in here, and this is the double support that goes there, but we're not going to put that on yet. X-gantry parts that bolt onto the linear carriage, doesn't bolt directly, but through two parts. Would like to keep it as one. Just convinced was the X-gantry parts that bolt onto the linear carriage, but through two parts. Oh, you're talking about the XY joints. I think there might be an argument that makes it stronger, that it's laminated. Maybe I'm just convincing myself. Oh, hey, it just finished the print. It's not going to scrape yet. But it is going to scrape when this hits 35 degrees. So I'll be ready to switch over when it's at 95 right now. You can kind of see it through chat. That the bed fans are going at 100% right now to cool it off. So anyway, let's go back here. I'll pay attention. So we'll try to catch that. I will full size it. Yeah. Actually, I can do that right here. As soon as I hear it, I can switch over. Webcam. We'll just go there. I know it's not focusing on the plate, but we'll see what it does when it moves. Anyway. Okay, that is on. Those are in. That is lined up. That's the other side. We just did both sides. And we're gonna put them in the printer. Okay. Let's put them on, yeah, let's put them on the printer. Got a shop vac to suck the heat out. I was moving stuff out of the way here. Oops, that one didn't get any. Let me put these in. Those over there. These over here. These over here. And these. Getting ready to bring the frame back over here. Now, one thing we need to do is there is a difference. So this T-nut can come out because that's for the cable chain. We're not going to use cable chains on this build. It's going to be a umbilical setup. Hey, penguin makers. So I'm hoping get these to pop out. Yep, there we go. And then the other thing that changes, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this T-nut, oops, come on. That's an M3 on the previous version. They're both M5s now. So let's see if we can go. What's our temperature? 75. Okay, we still got a while. We still got a while. Oh. Yep, that one popped out nicely. So now I need an M5 nut. Whoop. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, shoes. Loud. Now I guess we'll start in the front. We'll start in the easy ones. So this guy, make sure that spacer screw is on the bottom. Oh, we are going to have to take 2 of these out. Have to take because they get relocated. Where did I put that? Did I put that back in here? The little screwdriver I was just using. Where did it go? It's not up. Did it roll underneath? Where's the little screwdriver I was using? Not that one. Where did it go? Just had it. There it is. It's under the Lazy Susan. Okay, so we're gonna have to pop 2 of these out. These can be a pain. Ah, shoot. That one's not gonna come out easy. Maybe the other one will come out easier. Okay, I've got another way to do this. Where's that tool? Hey, Frank, welcome. It is a very cool Lazy Susan. Check it out. Yep. Okay, I'm going to get... what is... Yeah. Found these to work pretty well. Little pin or hook. Try it from this angle. Yep, there we go. This is a trick that I just learned a while back, but I was getting the right, shoot, what do you call them? I'm drawing a blank. Whatchamacallit? Getting it in behind the extrusion. Because you can poke in back here. Yep, there we go. That might be the trick for a lot of them. Look how easy that was. Pick. Thank you. I think it's just a Harbor Freight pick kit. It's just a Harbor Freight pick kit. Okay, so I had to move that one from there. Yeah, that's fine. To the front. And we'll have to put the other one on the front. Pull O-rings and seals and machinery. Yep, there. I was just drawing a blank. The little brain fart. Okay. Now we can take now this side. Oh, we have to do it on the bottom too. Got to do it on the bottom one. I am going to thread a screw into this T-nut bar. That will keep that from sliding out down the bottom. Okay, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna go whoop. Come on. There we go. Blink. Right back in. Right there. Hey, Minerva. Blink. Holy moly, that's easy. That is the new, that's going to be the new thing. A pick. A little bent pick to get your T-nuts out. See you, Neil. Okay, let's see where we at. We're at 55 degrees. Back to this. So all of our T-nuts are now, let's just put our things in the right spot. Right like that. There. There. Hey, TJ. You might not be live. Here, let's start the warnings now so you don't get caught when giveaway time comes. YouTube has been really bad about keeping people live lately, so be sure to make sure you're live when we come up to the giveaway time. Okay. So that's there, and we need a bunch of M5x10s. Oh, those are 8s. M5x10. Oh yeah, you haven't seen this, Bob? Look at that. The cardboard so I don't scratch it up. If you couldn't tell. There we go. Oh, I keep grabbing the 8s. 10s. We're putting the first parts back on the Tribent frame right now. This is exciting. Why isn't that one lined up? Okay. Where did you go? Where? Oh, that's what happened. The the T-nut or the nut bar slammed in the front and pushed the T-nut all the way out of the way. Oh, it's not there at all. What happened to it? Oh, there's none on the bottom. Oh, I'm not going to say dumb, but I'm dumb. I flipped things around and I did the wrong side. Nobody caught that. Nobody saved me from myself. Nope. Nobody saved me from myself. Fix that. We're busy discussing picks and the use thereof. I need to trademark the use of a pick for getting, I don't know, for getting T-nuts, stubborn T-nuts out. Hit it just right. This one's being really stubborn. Come on. Come on. This one's being really stubborn. Gotta refine this technique. Wow. I don't know if this one will come out. The other ones were so easy. This one went in, it's got to come out. Use your teeth like the rest of us. Let me just set this down like this. Trying not to scar up the frame more than it already is. Wow. Hang out because of a little ball bearing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's what I think this was doing a good job of getting that past that. I think it's just hitting it. Oh, oh. Wow. There we go. That was not scar free. That was not scar free. Okay, well. Let's see where we're at. 43. Getting close. Now I need more T-nuts. Now let's re-evaluate. This guy goes across there. This goes here. That one goes there. This one goes here. Okay. That one goes there. There. There's already using a narrow tool in the corner of the channel to scrape down the ridge. Okay. Now let's get this guy on here. Really stubborn ones? Yeah. I think that was probably a really good, using that pick worked really well for the ones that weren't stubborn. It worked for the one that was stubborn, but. So here, you don't want to tighten either of these right away. You want to kind of get them in place and make sure that you don't tighten, especially these first, before this is pulled all the way to the front. So just kind of alternate these, tightening them to make sure that you get it both fully onto the extrusion and forward. And flush here. Okay. Let's see, we're at 41 degrees. So now I need more T-nuts. Where did I see T-nuts? I may have to go spare parts bin diving. Where is my... spare parts. Oh, and we're almost at giveaway time. Yep, 5 minutes till giveaway time. Probably about that long until scrape time. I am out of 2020 M5 T-nuts. I'm not out. I'm not out. I am out of them in my bins. I have them somewhere. Have them somewhere. Okay, I grab them from another spot. Grab them from another spot for now. This one here, and this one here. This guy goes in here. We are at 39 degrees. I don't know if we do the giveaway now or because we're going to have to interrupt it. Or do we do the giveaway once it scrapes? We have 3 minutes until giveaway time. But we have 3 minutes, John, plus 3 seconds. You've already rigged it in your favor? Okay. So front idlers are on. Sweet. Sweet. Hey, Troy. Okay. So now the reason why you want to leave all this loose is because these little tabs need to snap over the extrusion here. So we loosen this guy. Don't loosen it too much to where it comes out, but loosen it a bit and loosen the stepper screws. Loosen this back one a little bit. It should go on there like that. Brown and yellow, yep. No, those were not lined up. That's lined up. I'm not tightening these, I'm just getting them in place. Suppose it could be looked at that way, Jax. Kind of combined your first and last name there, Jax. D-Mark finally got a stream live. Welcome. Some of your builds recently, getting ready for my FormBot Trident. Awesome. Our friend Ballistic Tech just did a FormBot Trident on his channel as well, so be sure you check him out. So Tribent is an intentional name of the build since it was destroyed by UPS. Yeah, and by destroyed, it's really scratched up. The lead screw steppers, one of them was destroyed. 2 of them I might be able to reuse for projects. Okay, what are we at? 6 o'clock and 37 degrees. It's really going to be right in the middle of rolling for filament. So I'd rather delay the giveaway just a little bit because we're either going to interrupt it or delay it a little bit. So I'd rather delay it a little bit. Let's put the other side on of this on. Just set this lined up. There we go. Don't delay it. Your son wants to. Oh. It did something. Oh, I heard a noise. Waiting for the bed to cool. What did I hear? Oh, there you are. I'm part of the last stream setting up plates and orchid slicer for your R2 update. Nice. Hey, Wally. Lazy Susie platform, that's newish. Mm-hmm. It's so close. It's so close. Sorry, John. We're waiting because we're gonna have to switch over. I can't pause it, is the problem. I might have heard the bed drop. It might have hit timeout. Hey, Feta. I have not had any issues with job queues. I have not had any issues with job queues. What am I? Oh. There we go. $36. Oh, we're not, actually, we're only going to put one of the bottom screws on here. The other one is for the end stop pod. Okay. How's that for ABS? Chamber temp reasonable? That was my concern after seeing it Rocky Mountain. I think I need to get a chamber thermistor in there, but it gets within the first 12 minutes of reaching bed temp, the chamber, according to the hot end, was at 45°C. So it's going to get hotter than that. I don't know how much hotter than that though. So close. Here, we'll watch the temperature. You can see it. It's right there. 35.4. $35.3. Probably open the door and get it to there. I'll fan it with the door. Get a little bit. 35.1. You can add your printer's webcam as a browser source in OBS. Oh yeah. Oh, I could do that, huh? Oh, there it goes. Okay, let's do the full webcam view. It's not going to be in focus, but just doing a scrape of fish. There we go. It's okay, your son doesn't want to go out now. I'm sorry, John. And it's going to start the next print. I've got 3 of these batches going. Let me grab one. The fish. This was a popular model at OC Maker Faire last year. So it's booth trinkets, Leo. Booth trinkets. But look at that. That's pretty fantastic. There's no warping. I mean, you would see it on this back fin piece or on the front. Is this in the collection? It is. It's from a designer that's in the collection. I don't know if I've put the actual fish in the collection. Stop carping on about the old fish. Good job, John. Good job. Okay, let's do. Here, what's it doing right now? It should be heating up. Yeah, it's heating back up to 105. I need to do the chamber thermistor because I want to see what the chamber does in between here. And if it warms up fast enough to get to the point. Okay. Giveaway. Wheel of names. Plastic fish are friends, not food. Did the scrape process change last time? I was able to watch for a bit. It would sort of stop halfway, then would go flat, zip back. This time it looks like it didn't do that. I think it's breaking in. I think it is zipping back quicker now. Insert a magnet in those and have kids use a fish pole with another magnet to pick it. That's a lot of effort for a booth trinket. And hey, Ethan. Okay. We are way behind. Let's see. Let's do a quick. Nope, I don't like that one. Okay, my choice. We're only recounting once. Only recounting once. 3, 2. Only 8 minutes late. 1. Everybody's in. Everybody's had plenty of time to be in. If you're one of those trying to get the last one in, get it in now because I'm about to hit save. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 entries. So this is perfect. Last countdown. 3, 2, 1. Make sure you're live. Yep. It's too late now. By the time you hear that, it's too late. Yes, it's a beta release, John. Okay, it's done. 124 responses. Let's link it out. Rod got in there first. Who got that last one in? Minerva. Speaking of M names, I don't know if Maurice sees this later or now, but Maurice's birthday is tomorrow, and Sanity's birthday is today. Okay, what are we doing? We are doing a number between 2 and 6 because it's the 26th. Doing a number between 2 and 6. Jim Barino, you said 5. We're going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and spin. 3 for Tribent. That would have been a good one. Jonas. Wow. Jonas Carly Wenag. Jonas. Are you here? Congratulations. But you got to be here. You got to say something in chat. I'm assuming it's Jonas. Are you here? It's not John S. It's Jonas. You're close. There you are. Congrats. Awesome. Let's get this. Sure. There you are. There. And today is not Sunday the 26th. Let me make sure I have the right. One. Yes, I do have the right one. Okay, so I just didn't change that. Today is Wednesday the 26th. And this. Ooh. Copy that. Okay, Jonas, you will get an email from me any minute now, depending on how long it takes to get to wherever you are in the world. Congrats. You'll get an email that has instructions on how to redeem that. Anyway, first time winning. Awesome. Okay, let's close this. What's that? It's starting the print. That can go away. Know what color that fish was done in. Yeah, that is Polymaker's Galaxy Orange ABS. Pin that message. Polymaker's Galaxy Orange ABS. Baby just see you, Frank. Thanks for being here. I'm just cleaning things up before we continue. Okay. I've been sweepstakes in the past 3 years and got nothing. Nothing! This is... What is this? This is... I'm looking something up here. This is about the 360 something live stream that we've done. That's a lot. Okay, where are we at? That's gonna do that thing. So let's go back here. So this is putting all the T-nuts in. That's what we were working on. Then put the idlers in. And then working on the, this is talking about loosening the idler stacks, get them on. That's what I did. And then we have the optional end stop switch. We're going to put the end stop switch in a different stream because I didn't get that. It's printed, but it's not ready to put on. Here on stream number 3, tomorrow night number 4. Okay, so we're skipping the end stop switch. This is the new one. It's easy to put in, I just don't have it wired up. We'll get this crossbar and stuff in instead. A few different options here. It goes in with a longer screw in the bottom. We can actually bolt it in place. Then it's there. So this is the end stop. Received the email. Awesome. That's good to know. So a 16 millimeter screw goes in here. And this guy goes into the slot in the back first. Wow, that's because that's an interesting. It is somewhere where it was damaged, apparently, because this is having a hard time going in there. So let me just see if we can work that in there. There we go. There's a little extra effort. Hey, Chromatic. Hey, Polar Ted. There. So that's where the end stop is going to go. I'll take it off and put the switch in there. I want to take a look at the... Here. No. There. I want to take a look at that first layer real quick. Just, till I get fully comfortable with it. I want to make sure it looks like it's gone down well. And it is. I don't have any complaints about that. Yeah, so that's going to do that's going to do those well into the night and get 3 batches of those done. Okay, so that's there. Then we got our crossbar. So that's what I stole a couple of T-nuts out of a second ago. So I need to get those back, maybe? Maybe there's 2. There's 2 there, 2 here. Because this, and then 2 here. And then I'm missing just 1, but I don't need these in the bottom here because there we go. That one came out easy. That one came out easy. All of these are getting switched to other ones, so these I can salvage. There we go. This is honestly one of the easiest ways to get easy ones out. Just a little gentle pry on either side. Right out. Yeah, that is fantastic. Out. And out. Now I have extra M5 T-nuts. A pick is the solution. Polymer HTPLA Pro spools just delivered. Nice. That is a filament I cannot get to eject automatically on the Vertigo yet. I need to try a few more things, but it sticks too well. It's hard to imagine that being a problem, right? It's sticking too well. Yeah, I do the same thing, Calhem, until I remembered that I'd tried this on a really stubborn one and it worked, and realized how easy it is to do them on the less stubborn ones too. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so last one of these right here. I am noticing, I don't think this is dented in the end there. You see that? I don't think that's UPS damage. That's probably, I've probably dropped this at some point in the last 4 years. So I'm gonna take a file and knock that down flush, just so it doesn't interfere with the printed part. It's going to be hidden. You won't be able to see that, but just a real quick file to knock it down. Okay. Maybe this view will be nicer. What? There we go. So the 2 T-nuts on the bottom, we can slide these guys in here. Because we're going to need those for our little... Oh, I didn't print those actually. Maybe I did. I don't know if I printed those. I broke the ball end off my Allen wrench while trying to take off its lid. Yeah. And we're going to make sure that our stepper screws are loose here. So we have some play here. This guy, I'm sure we'll flip this around so that's even more out of the way. There it goes in there. Okay, goes right there. Dental picks, it does work very easily. Now I've got another trick here that I want to try. I want to try showing off that I just thought of a while back. I'm gonna put these in here first. A violin for my daughter. She's learning violin at school this year. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna put these in. Loosely. Color swap on the BA drives. I love doing that, but I never thought of doing it higher like you did. Yeah, one of the things that I did intentionally on the new BA drives is I put this lip on the front of them specifically to break up the print, because this is a common spot for a print quality issue. And it just makes a nice spot to do a color swap too. So. All these in just loosely. For the whole belt path alignment issue, it is important that these are not bent down or up. So I thought the jigs we used to align the extrusions can be used to align our rear extrusion. Now, an interesting thought that just occurred to me is this is offset by 4 millimeters. Zeta, you knew about this. You saw when we thought about this in the dev channel. But it might be worth, because there's an offset. I don't think it's going to make a difference because that angle is very small. I think it'll be fine. But still, this gets it really close. This is something that was thought of after the manual was produced, after release. This is a new thing. Okay, I'm gonna shift these over to center them. There we go. And then with these all in place. Oh, you were after well, this was thought of after release. But this will make sure that this bar is basically in line with the rest of it. And then we do want to make sure when we're tightening these that all of this is pushed all the way to this back extrusion. So I do want to pull this off and just... These parts are in the Trident repo. That jig is in the Trident repo already. It's in the tools jig in the Trident R2 repo. Okay, now this can go back up in here. Okay, and then come over here. I'm just making sure that this is all pulled back into the back as far as we can. So. There we go. These can come off. It should be as aligned as it can get. Yeah, this was a big thing. I spent literally months thinking on the belt path a long time ago. This was a couple of years ago. The front idler idea was around for a long time. So then the next thing was to figure out what can we do back here. And this belt path was the result of a lot of looking at options. What are the benefits of different paths that we could do? Is there things we can do to like get rid of this offset of this extrusion? There are, but there's compromises. So anyway, I've just tightened down all these screws here that we had loosened up. We can tighten down the steppers. Okay. Now we can put our double shear parts on. Let me grab these and do a quick swipe at them with the heat gun. There we go. Okay. So something to note on the, did I use up those bearings? I think I used up those bearings. I gotta dive into another, where's the other pack of bearings? I'm gonna put those. There they are. Okay. Okay, something to check when you're getting ready to put your bearings for the double shear support. Check the fit of the bearings to your steppers. That can vary by stepper, shaft, or bearing. Make sure that it slides on here. If this is hard to get on, it is going to be near impossible to get off later. So anyway, the cover, the bearing goes in here. This should be a tight fit. If it is, and that was a nice press it in, took some effort to press it in. If it's a slip in fit, you probably want to reprint this. You want that to be tight. It should not fall out. That's tight enough that it's not falling out. It took some light pressure, but pressure to actually get it in, and that's what you want. So so that took some effort to put in. You want that to have some effort. You don't want this to be able to move around in there. And then this is a printed circlip, and it goes in. I don't think either way up, doesn't really matter. but it just slides in there. And then you can get it out with tweezers or whatever. It doesn't take actual circlip tools. It can be finicky to get out, but so then that goes there. Do the same thing to this one. That one goes there. And then a couple of button heads. The plastic will hold up when exposed to chamber heat. Good plastic will. Should. And a little M3x6 button heads to hold these down. All the shrinkage which accounted for in CAD. We don't, nothing here requires shrinkage compensation. If you're going to do shrinkage compensation, do it on all of them. But I've never had a fitment issue on a Voron build where I needed to adjust for shrinkage compensation to get it to fit. Ever. Across the entire lineup. So. I don't know if you can see all that, but that's sad. That's very sad. That's very sad. I'm really that's the whole bin. That's the whole bin of M3 button heads. So to the degree that's true, Calham, to the degree of like bearing fit and stuff, it is accounted for in CAD. But you want to do some test fits of parts. Yes, these are at least were black oxide screws, so a magnet is a great idea. In a bag, yes. A magnet in a bag is a great idea. I'm going to ignore that for the moment until I start rolling my chair around and... okay. Those are on... They are small bins. I just wasn't paying attention. It doesn't happen often enough. Okay, we did all that. Now, I don't think I printed those. Oh, they are everywhere. Let me see if I actually did. No, I didn't print those. We'll install those next time. Magnet brooms. I don't. I probably need one. Oops, not that. Okay, so we'll install those next time. They are important to get right, the installation of these, so I'll definitely cover that in the next stream. What is the next thing? We can put some rails on. Move this out of the way. Let's check out these guys. Get a couple of things of paper towels. Get you out of the way and zoom in. Okay, so I wanted to check these out. These are the ULS rails from Fabrico. I ordered them on, I think I ordered them on Saturday. And I paid for next day shipping because I didn't know if I would actually need them today or not. And they got here in time, so that's awesome. A little harder for me to tip over. Yeah. So, ULS rails. Oh, there we are. They are. Here. So, see? Is that right? Let's do this. There's description and stuff here. You can check them out. I've never used them before. They're high end. They are a bit more expensive than other rails. I think these were $58 each. It's not hugely more expensive, but they are a premium as far as our sense of the word rail. They do have really fancy stop plugs. They have a logo on them. So, and they came with a dummy rail. So I want to look at these and I want to make sure I put them back together the same way they came apart. Even though one of the advertisements here is they are more consistent. So all the balls are, the carriage and rails are mix and match. These are normal preload is what they're called. For the Y rails, I'm not worried about whatever preload they ended up being, but they are really smooth. So I always take, most rails have some sort of, like there's this groove here and it's smooth on the other side. I always take a little marker and I mark the side of the rail, just the corner here, because it's easy to find and hard to wipe off. I mark the corner of the rail on the side that has that groove. And that's just my own thing to make sure I put it back together the same way it came off. Push that onto there. Just going to get in here with my fingernails and just kind of wipe them out for any extra little thing. And that's not a lot coming off of these. Sometimes you get a lot of stuff coming off even new rails. That's not bad. I'm just kind of give it a little wipe off. Mostly getting that storage and packing lube. They're not pre-greased. You have to, the suggestion on Fabrico's site is to soak them in IPA for 5 to 10 minutes to get the protectant oil off of them. Let's see here. Get a little better view here with this camera. So they're constructed a little differently from some of the other rails. These have a plastic return on the, I wonder if I have any in here that are apart. No, I don't have anything that's apart. I don't really want to pull anything apart either. But you see the difference here. The carriage here is all metal on the center part with plastic end caps. These have a metal center carriage. The plastic is just the ball return. It's still metal on the inside at the rail interface. We can see if they will grease. They should have functional grease ports. That's what those are. Is there a grease port behind the wiper? Reviewer said they lived with a grease port? Lived with a grease port. So I think what we are going to do is their suggestion of, at least this first one, that we're just going to do a basic cleaning on, is just swish it in some IPA to clean out the, swish it in some IPA to clean out the packing grease, the whatever they call it. Ooh, the balls come out easy, so be careful. Neil wanted to get a measurement on these, so I'll see what I can do about that. I know that I gave him the spec, but we can do this. I don't want to do this too aggressively and lose any of those bearings. Let's grab one of these and let's do this over paper towel. It's less likely to bounce away, I think, than a hard surface. Okay, zero out my calipers. This guy. Finger. Yeah. 1.995 is what it's measuring at. I am kind of on the edge. It's kind of hard to get it centered in there. So my micrometer, I did say caliper. I know the difference. Oh, in a different spot, it's exactly 2.000. So it's right in there. I took a set apart, ran them through the ultrasonic. I hear, Polar Ted, that ultrasonic cleaners are really bad for these bearings because they vibrate against each other and can put little tiny dents in the balls. I've stopped doing that. I've done that in the past, but I've stopped doing it because that seems to make sense to me. Okay, so we're gonna get that out of there. These are very easy to drop the bearings out of there. Dab it. Maybe a little heat gun to evaporate the IPA. Just to help evaporate it. And then I'm gonna need, where'd my tweezers go? I have to determine which ones can pit the balls. Yep. That is what I have heard as well. Where did my tweezers go? Did I put them back under here? Well, I have other tweezers. Let's break out the nice tweezers for this. Let's break out the nice tweezers. Just use a lighter. We're also going to put a little bit of grease on here so they'll tend to stick instead of go flying. I was going to do that before I read your comment, Zeta. Okay, let's get some. I don't want to. Let's get all these pushed to one side so I get an idea of the gap that's in there. Which ones are missing? I think the dab of grease on the tip of the tweezers is a great idea. I think that's it. It's going to be about a ball spot free. These are never fully packed tight. At least they shouldn't be. It should be about what you think might fit one more ball in is what should be free. The springs on these are not very tight. I've had these came apart, fell, lost the balls a lot easier than some of the other rails that I've worked with. Should be a 2-ball gap. We'll see once I get these in and see what we end up with. What I'm looking for is even on both, and I think a 1-ball gap is going to be even on both. There is, you can see, but there's our 1-ball gap right there. And there's our 1-ball gap right there. It's the same gap on both sides. So, okay, so now we're going to carefully put this thing back on here. There we go. So we can put it back on the rail. Okay, then there's my red mark. This goes here then. Yeah. That feels so smooth. And honestly, what little bit of grease I put in there is probably enough, but I want to see if these, I think if I put this here, you should be able to see it there. So if I put this here, yep, there it goes. I don't know if you can see it right there. It did inject grease. Try the other side. Yep. I don't know if you could see it, but I could see it just start right there. I'm going to consider that cleaned and lubed. Let's put our caps back in here. Set this aside. Look in here. I did see a shiny in there. Oh, yeah, it is what's catching What's catching light right there near the tip of my finger is a little metallic shiny that came out of there. So good thing we got it cleaned out. I'm gonna start fresh. I forgot a ball. Shush. You shush. Okay, nice and clean. You shush. Okay. Same thing here. Initial thoughts on the rails. They're really smooth. That's all I can say. I don't really have a whole lot. I don't really have a whole lot to say beyond that. I'm gonna drop this off onto the dummy rail because those came out so easy before. I don't want them to fall out ahead of schedule. Fresh IPA. This is valuable stuff. Amazon won't ship this to me anymore. Amazon won't ship me 99% IPA anymore. Because exactly what Jeff said. Because California. There we go. There was one little sparkly in there, and I did just get it. Okay, then just gently swish this around. If shipped to a commercial address, okay. I'll have to find. I'd have sent you home with a gallon. I flew though, Bob. Oh, there they go. I want to be somewhat aggressive here with agitating it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. Might be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it evaporating. Ooh, it's a little hot. Just let it dry a bit. Okay. Let's get a little bit of grease in here. This next round, I'm not going to bother injecting it into the ports. I'm just going to do it here. Now, all of these, hightailed it from this other side. So let's get these back up in here. I will say the springs to hold these in, it's not a big deal that they are very light. Maybe that's part of them being smooth, but it does make it a little more finicky for maintenance. There's that gap. This other side shouldn't have a gap. I didn't see any loss from over here until I just did that. Rolling these through to push that grease in. Going to see us doing that to fill up the reservoirs and the end caps. Is that really act as a reservoir though? Just put a little grease in there. These tweezers are pretty fantastic though. I don't know if they're worth 30 bucks, but these are the engineer tweezers. Yeah, that's all of them. About a one bearing gap in there. Here. These into the, oops. Then a little bit more. That should be good. Need to build a still to make his own 99 proof IPA. I know. Like a Mechanic brand, they are 95% the quality of engineer, but a third the price. Mechanic brand? Do we get them here? Do we get Mechanic brand? These are special. These are Japan purchased engineer. From the one shop in Japan that I found 3D printing supplies of any kind in. There we go. Okay. This goes back on here. Ugh. You talking about these? Calhoun? These are fantastic. Engineer crimpers. Folks can tell you what I think of engineer crimpers. Have some. I have both style. I have the Japan, made in Japan, and I have the made in Taiwan. And I don't use either of them because I don't like them. Okay. That is those. Where's my little end caps? Where'd my end caps go? My little stoppers. Where did the stoppers go? Oh, they're over here. There they are. What do you use for crimping? The iWis, the iCrimp. I'm a big fan. I like manual crimpers. These are my choice. Look at the teeth, the gaps. Look at the gaps there. Basically non-existent. Here, let's grab the Japan ones. Look at the gaps there. Especially on the smaller ones. It makes a difference. Okay. Those are the 2820. There is a couple of teeny tiny flakes of sparkle in this IPA here. Try the other series crimpers. These are PA09s. I hear the PA20s are better, and then there's another one with the replaceable jaws that I've heard are good, but I've also heard PA09s are good, and I hate the PA09s. PA24, that's the ones. The celebratory glitter. Okay. Those that can just air out and dry out. Let's put these Y rails on the printer and then call it a night. I think that's pretty good progress for a first stream. It's very possible that the engineers have changed over the years too. And the opinions of people that like them are based on older stock. But we've gone over that many times. Oh, there's my tweezers. Other tweezers. It's okay. These. Okay. You want some replacement PA09s, Bill? You can have these. Okay. Oh, shoot. I printed a hex tray. I printed it in these colors. I left it in the other garage. Okay. Let's bring this around. Okay. What about second garage? Okay, let's see here. This thing goes right there. These guys. That's a good question. So how long are these? They are maybe a millimeter or so shy. So when that happens, you just want to center it between the two ends. If there's any gap there, you want to center the gap. Notch in or notch out. You're talking about that notch. I would probably go notch in. I think notch in is what makes the most sense. Size for measuring period length. Let's get these on here. GST Crimson was amazed how much better. Oh yeah, I used some. Doc brought some genuine crimpers. There is no beating genuine crimpers from whatever manufacturer, but they are spendy. Good night, Andy. Oh, I got to figure out where the X beam is for this. The X extrusion's got to be around here somewhere. I need to find that before next stream. They're expensive because they're meant for companies to buy, and companies have money. Indicates the true. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that. That's a good little tidbit. Okay, so since these are slightly shorter than a full 350 millimeters, you just want to make sure the gap on either side is the same. Let me get down here and find me some. Rail. Nope, that's 1515. That's 1515. There we go. Oh, nope. Can't do that. These are from, I need the center ones. Oh, I don't know where the other one is. That one? Just trying to find a match set of these. These other ones were offset. These have an arrow on them, which means they're offset for the Voron 2 serial 0. That's what those came from. This is the old jig for the pulleys. I didn't print new ones of these. I don't think I needed to. These might work. Nope, those are NGN. Why don't I have... Okay, well, maybe that's a sign that this is a good end. I need to print some new ones of these apparently, because I don't have a full set. I'm missing the pair to this one. So we'll just make sure those stay in place. Hey, Boopy Pops. Not tightening them down, just making sure that if that rail moves, it doesn't slide across any of the screw heads. We'll put this other one in place as well. Just put it in place. It'd fail. I need to print them in the right color. Well, for that kind of thing, I do keep a drawer down here that is basically all the extra jigs and pieces. So I can generally go down there and find the right pieces I need for whatever. There's no reason to waste the plastic on it. But apparently I'm missing the other side of that one for V2 serial 0. New ones get printed off. Yeah. Then I'll just have extras. So when we come back next week, we will be... I will have the Z steppers. So we'll be able to start getting that stuff together. But yeah, that's pretty decent. Pretty decent progress. Get the there. A little smudge. Yep, Tribent. Working on it. It's coming back. Oh, see, screw that I didn't tighten down. There we go. Nice little yellow. Okay, folks. Thank you for hanging out. We will be working on the Night Owl on Sunday. Daniel and I will probably be starting the Antithesis build on Sunday the 6th. Probably Sunday the 6th. September 6th will be the Antithesis start. And we'll be doing that Sunday and Wednesdays for the next several weeks. But the Wednesdays I will be double streaming. I will be streaming with Daniel on the Antithesis build and continuing on this in the evening. So this isn't going to be on pause. We'll get this going and done. So, and then once the Antithesis build is done, we're going to work on the rat rig. So awesome. Hope everyone has a good rest of your week. Here, let's do a quick, in case somebody is still around that hasn't seen this. Woohoo! Chill after today. See you, Andrew. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Have a better tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the build. Bye.